What the hell is he doing? He's reviewing a game that came out 10 years ago. If you haven't played Vanquish, holy shit. I could watch that all day. I probably will end up watching it all day because I've got to do the edit and line up the sound and everything. But that song's from Judge Dredd, the 2012 Judge Dredd intro. I recently rewatched it because it got a lot of critical acclaim and didn't really get a lot of good. Anyway, I digress. What are we looking at, Coop? We're looking at Vanquish on my PC. Right, I just bought it, and a long-ish story that starts way back 5 years ago is that I actually used to write gaming articles. One of the games that I covered in the articles, and this was something I used to do in my spare time, I would write about Xbox 360 games. This is before I had purchased a PlayStation 4. It was a long time ago. If you'd have come up to me and said, oh, by the way, you're going to do a video review of Vanquish in 5 years to a potential audience of 6,500 people, I would have fallen off my chair. So it's great that I've come to where I am now and I can legitimately explain why Vanquish is such a goddamn phenomenon. Platinum, and I don't need to go into any detail on Platinum, I've bored you guys with my love affair with that studio way too much. But Platinum at the time were riding on a really high wave with Bayonetta, and they kind of just came out with this on a real sort of odd and sod basis. There was minimal PR, there was a few screenshots, but no one was really making a loud noise about it because at the time Gears of War and the cover-based shooter genre was fucking saturated as hell, and Platinum don't really have a lot of experience in this area. But from what I saw of it, it was doing very well. Now this is a long time. This is 9 years ago, so there wasn't really massive amounts of video coverage about games. It was screenshots, and the big name sites would tell you, there'd be various little bits of PR and marketing around the game itself. So it was just misty, It wasn't like, it's weird now because you have game reviews. It's like Death Stranding. It's like I basically know everything about Death Stranding. I've not even played the fucking game, and I've watched probably 5 reviews, and there's nothing I don't know about.
First, you need to walk all the way to here.
With this, it was slightly blind. Also, I should mention that this game is performing at its optimum level. So the PC version has got an uncapped frame rate. They've added all this VSync and anti-aliasing, and you can potentially run it at 4K. I'm running it at 1080, and I've put the frame rate up to, I think it's 60 frames pegged. I'm not very good with that sort of stuff. I took the VSync off and the LOD off because I didn't want to see screen tearing on the various cutscenes. But the performance, seeing this game perform at its optimum, is a complete dream come true for me. And that was the purchase in the first place, 11 quid, I think, on Steam, which made me just think, I want to see Vanquish looking at its best, and fucking hell, does it look good. And I'm going to cover the sort of various points of interest as to why this game is so strong. And the first one, and the one that Platinum have always been incredible at, is the boss fights and the set pieces within those boss fights and how you take them down and the different levels of boss enemy attack pattern that relates to how far down the line you are with killing it. They're geniuses at this, they're geniuses at boss design, but shit, man, it just comes together with this one so well. So what is it that's making this game so appealing? What's its secret? Why is it such a game that I lust for?
I'm a big believer in, if he's into you, he's not going to keep it a secret.
And want to go back to, and haven't really got to equivalent heights with any other cover-based shooter. Think The Division, think about Gears. Well, I kind of think I've worked it out a little bit. One of the things is that when you're in cover, you can't instigate the slowdown mechanic just off the bat. You have to input a precursor move, and that precursor move would be jump over the cover, right? Or roll out of cover into the open, or roll back. Okay, so you have to move. You have to sacrifice your safety in order to get this slowdown mechanic, which is bloody genius. And another thing is that you never ever ever have more skills than you did when you started the game, and you never have different moves than you did when you started the game. The parameters of that character's controls are exactly the same the entire way through the whole campaign. And a lot of people might think, what, there's no upgrades, there's no, you've unlocked the double somersault. No, and that's the genius of it, I think, is that the template is set and you operate within those parameters. But the thing is, you get so good at working out the limits of this move and how you can implement it to your advantage that it almost is like you're opening up more areas of a special that hasn't changed since day one. Now that's fucking clever. Now the other point and comparison I want to make is how the infantry and loot system works. Now if you look on the right hand side, you have a slot of 3 firing weapons and 2 sets of grenades. Now Halo did this. Halo stripped down all of that bollocks, infantry management, scrolling through 16 weapons, having to stand over a gun and work out what you're going to drop and what you're going to take. Again, Vanquish has streamlined this mechanic. I love Borderlands, right? I love Diablo. Jesus, the new Diablo trailer. Fucking hell, that's dark, isn't it? But anyway, I just really want sometimes to not have to worry about that aspect of a game. I just want to be pushed through a campaign and really focus on gunplay and gunplay mechanics. Now, one other thing very quickly, whilst we're on this piece of footage, that robot, that amazing little robot that came out and deployed cover, right? And now he's going to try and flip the cover so that it's behind him. He's also got a little laser that comes out the top. There's 3 of them on one bit of the game. You think it's a continuous white wall. It's all these robots. They flip over. Man, just so good to watch. That's another thing, is that I'm getting to watch footage of this game properly. When you're playing it, you can't really soak it all up. That kind of dovetails into how the weapons are presented in the game itself. One of the amazing ideas is the fact that your weapon swap animation is the coolest Transformers style sort of conversion of that weapon into the other. That in itself, the care that went into that is spot on. Also, the fact that the weapons, they do not adhere to any grounded reality, but the ones that it matters on, it does. Stuff like the shotgun, stuff like the heavy machine gun, stuff like the sniper rifle is totally visceral and gritty and awesome, like any other third-person shooter military weapons. But then there's crazy stuff like the life gun and like an RPG that will fire out bullets that race up into the air and then slam down onto the ground. I love the idea that it kind of ticks both boxes. Crazy, fantastical weapons and cool, military, nasty weapons. And the shotgun in this game, and I said this in the article, shotguns can make and break a game for me, especially a third-person shooter. If the shotgun's shit, your fucking game's gonna be shit. That's how deep I am when it comes to evaluating a game. But the shotgun in Vanquish is a piece of genius. Now this brings me on to AI, and you're probably watching this thinking, what the hell's going to stop you just lawnmowing over everything in this game with this slowdown mechanic? Well, it's a little bit like, and I keep referring to this, a little bit like early Halo games where you have certain hierarchies with different enemy types, and there's a particular type of robot that's yellow that you do not fuck with, and it's got very good aim and it's got very different weapons. But I wanted to show this piece of footage because I was like, there's an upgrade here, I want that, and I rushed forward, you know, and the game was like, don't do that, right, because you're out of cover, we're swamping you, Jesus, you know, fuck off and go and get your upgrade another time. I like how it will shut the door on you if you start taking the piss. This is a really cool piece of footage. A lot of the robots, if you decapitate them, will actually come after you kamikaze style. And so they'll crawl around on the ground without their heads and they'll come and get you to, you know, explode right close to you. I love that idea that you've got to kill everything properly. Now let's talk about this weird upgrade system. The gun that you've got equipped, if an upgrade gets dropped, you pick it up and it applies it to that gun. So you need to be wary. So if you have a favourite gun, like I love the shotgun, obviously. So whenever I find a green upgrade, I put my shotgun on and I pick that up. And you'll see that the shotgun has now got a funny little, almost military-like star on it, meaning that it's been upgraded one notch. That will do all kinds of stuff, like increase its capacity, increase its hit damage. I like the idea that the upgrade system doesn't require a single menu. You just pick them up on the fly and you whack them on to whatever you love. It's one of the few games in this world that I've finished twice and on hard. And if you want to go and buy this, put it on hard. Just put it on hard straight away. You can always take it off. It's a hell of a lot better experience. And you get a New Game Plus mode. You also get leaderboards with arenas. You finish a level, you get that whole thing to access as a big arena with all the mini boss fights, etc. Guys, if you enjoyed this, I'll keep going. I will do a video review of all the classics. BioShock 1, Dark Souls 1. I love doing this stuff, so let me know. And see you down there!
So if you know or ever knew how to be happy on a scale from 1 to 2 now, are you happy?